Hi everyone, I am Brett Knight with I'm Healthy, and I'm here for a short movement break to help you just kind of get a little bit of movement into your day. And if you're stuck at your desk, I know you can't really leave maybe, but getting you up just to move for a couple minutes, a little bit of freshness, a little bit of jump start, and then back to what you're doing, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to get up from the desk, we're going to move through that upper body a little bit. So if we tend to slouch a little bit or be typing on our computer, I want to open that collarbone, help you open that collarbone, help you get a little bit of stretch through the hamstrings and through the upper back, okay? So we're going to get out of that chair. First, before we even do the shoulders, we're going to take a little bit of a neck stretch. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to take that hand, push the right hand down. I'm going to turn towards you a little bit. Push the right hand down and put my palm up. Bring my hand slightly on the right side of my left hand on the right side of my head. And just pull lightly on my neck. Just get a nice little neck stretch. Should feel that stretch coming up through the neck. Holding for about 10-15 seconds. Good, and then shaking it out. I could take a little roundness. Take half circles through my neck, but then coming over to the other side, take my left hand, push it down, bring my fingers up to create a little bit of activity through my left hand, and then just pull lightly on my neck, getting a nice stretch up through the side of the neck. Awesome. Good, and just continuing to lightly breathe, normal breath. 3, 2, 1, awesome. You can shake it out, little shoulder rolls. I'm going to take my chair. Now, this is easier if the chair doesn't move or doesn't have wheels. If it does have wheels, you can just push it against the wall, or you can use your desk as well, because that probably doesn't move as much, okay? What I'm going to do is stand kind of at an arm's length away from the chair or the desk, so if I had to kind of hip hinge, I could reach out to that chair. Now, what we're going to do is place our hands on our hips, on our front of our hips. So I'm going to place my palm kind of right on my hip, whereas the heel of my hand kind of comes up to my waistband, and my fingers kind of come down right to the top of my thigh. I'm going to push my hips back so I get this nice little hip hinge, and I start to feel my hamstrings stretch. Notice my back stays nice and neutral. My hands come out to either the chair or the desk, and I slowly start to sink down, getting a hamstring stretch. Now if I want, I can walk my hands a little further and straighten my arms out and even get the top part of my back, pulling in the low belly, and then coming up nice and slow. Let's take that twice more. So whether it's on the chair or on the desk, we're going to push the hips back, get this nice little hip hinge, bring the hands out in front, rest them on something that gives me a little bit of leverage. I'm going to push my hands down into it and try to actively roll the shoulders back and down. And this is opening up through the collarbone. I'm sinking through the armpits. Ooh. Good, and then come back up. Let's take one more just like that. Hands on the hips. Go ahead and push the hips back so you feel the hamstrings. I'm going to create this kind of eye with my arms. And come down. And just breathe. Good. Come up as nice and slow, making sure not to become dizzy. And we're going to stick with the hip hinge. We're going to open through the chest. We did this a little bit in another movement break. It's called IYT. So letter Y, and letter T. Very, very good stretch to keep doing during your movement breaks in order to open up through the collarbone and really get those shoulders back and down. So we're going to push those hips back again. We're going to bring the hands down to the center. We're going to drive those hands up overhead, creating an I, and then bring them back down. We're going to drive those hands up, creating a Y, and bring them back down. We're going to drive those hands out to the side, creating a T, squeezing the shoulder blades, and bring them back down. Now, you can stand up and reset. Another way is to challenge the core a little more is to stay down in that position. So when we push the hips back, challenge the core just a little bit more, and maybe do 2 full rounds of the IYT while holding in this position. So we go I, Y, T, I, Y, T. Ooh, and I start to feel like I'm getting a little fatigued through my midsection, come on up. Now, last thing, if you want to get even a little more squeeze through the back, we can add a W into the mix. So I, Y, W, then a T, all right? It looks something like this. We push those hips back. We bring our hands down strong, roll the shoulders back. We go I, Y, we don't even reset. We just go to Y, W, we pull back like we're pulling bands from in front of us, and we squeeze the shoulder blades, and then we put it out to a T. Bring the hands all the way around, bring them up, hands to heart center. So ways to open up through the collarbone and stay. If we feel like we've been getting a little forward shoulder roll because we've been sitting at that too long, we're going to get a nice little stretch through the back and a little bit of strengthening through the back. Awesome, awesome movement break to take if you've been sitting at that desk for a little too long and you're starting to feel that slouch. So thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.